Life had many twists and turns. No one ever knew when a turn would come or how hard it would strike. Mercy was a beautiful woman, not just in her face, but in her ways. She had two children, a boy and a girl. They were her heart, walking outside her body. When the children were still small, their father left. He did not shout, he did not fight. He simply packed his things one morning and did not return. At first, Mercy waited. She told the children their father was busy. She said he would come back soon, but soon never came. Raising them alone was heavy, but Mercy was strong. She had a good job. The house was warm. The fridge was full. The children had clean clothes and soft beds. From the outside, our life looked safe, comfortable, almost peaceful. But at night, when the house grew quiet, Mercy felt the weight of it all. She lay awake, staring at the ceiling. Her mind whispered fears she never spoke aloud. She wondered how long strength could last. She wondered what would happen if life decided to turn again. And life, as always, was already moving. Mercy had a kind heart. Too kind, some would say. She was a helper by nature. If someone needed, she gave. If someone asked, she did not turn away. Her siblings often came to spend time with her. They laughed in her home. They ate her food. They rested in her peace. When it was time for them to return home, Mercy packed their bags. She filled them with food, clothes, little things they might need later. Before they left, she would slip extra cash into their hands. Just in case, she would say softly. She never counted how much she gave. She never thought of herself last. Her joy came from helping others stand. One of her siblings dreamed of leaving the country, a better life, new chances, hope far away. Mercy believed in that dream. She paid the fees. She helped with papers. She gave more than she should have. When the plane took off, Mercy stood alone with her children, watching the sky. She smiled, but something inside her tightened. She did not know then that kindness, when stretched too far, can begin to bleed. She did not know that giving without limits leaves quiet emptiness behind. Life was still calm on the surface, but underneath, something fragile was starting to crack. A few years passed, quietly at first. Life settled into a routine. Work in the mornings, school for the children, evenings filled with homework and tired smiles. Sometimes, Mercy would pause and think of her sibling, Kathleen. Kathleen had gone abroad with big hopes. At first, there were calls, short messages, promises to visit. Then the calls grew fewer. The messages stopped. Mercy told herself not to worry. Life was busy over there. She thought, new country, new struggles. Still, at night, Kathleen's name crossed her mind. Mercy wondered if she was safe, if she was lonely, if she had eaten that day. There were no answers. At home, the children were growing fast. Nonzo was almost done with high school, less than a year left. He spoke about the future with hope in his voice. Choima was in her second year of high school. She was quiet, but sharp. Her teachers praised her. Her grades were strong. Mercy watched them with pride. They were becoming adults before her eyes. She smiled for them. She cooked their meals. She kept the house running. But deep inside, a strange unease followed her, like a shadow that appeared only when the light was low. Life seemed steady, too steady, and Mercy had learned long ago that silence can be a warning. Time did not stop. It moved fast, without Mercy. Nonzo finished college. The day he graduated, Mercy cried quietly in the crowd. Her heart was full. Not long after, he found a good job. He became a manager at a big company. He dressed sharp. He spoke with confidence. Mercy thanked God in silence. At least one child was standing strong. Koima was close to finishing college too. From the outside, she looked successful. But Mercy began to notice changes. New friends, loud voices, sharp words. These friends spoke badly to their own parents. They laughed at respect. They mocked rules. Slowly, Choma changed. The girl who once greeted her mother softly now rolled her eyes. The girl who once listened now talked back. Sometimes she disrespected Mercy in front of others. Each time it happened, Mercy felt a deep pain in her chest, not anger, grief. Family friends noticed. They pulled Choima aside. They spoke gently. Honor your mother, they said. She carried you through hard days. Choima brushed them off. She laughed. She walked away. Mercy stood there, smiling weakly, pretending it did not hurt. But inside, something shattered. She went to her room that night and closed the door. She sat on the bed and stared at her hands. She had given everything, her youth, her strength, her kindness, and now respect was slipping through her fingers. Life had turned again, this time slowly, quietly, and painfully. Years passed again. Mercy grew older. Her steps slowed. Her strength faded. This was the same woman who once carried everyone else. The one who helped her siblings when they had nothing. The one who lifted them until they stood higher than before. Now, her hands shook. Illness came quietly. At first, it was small, forgetting things, losing focus, feeling tired all the time. Then, it grew worse. Mercy reached a point where making clear decisions became hard, especially with money. Bills confused her, numbers blurred. The woman who once managed everything now needed help. Doctors spoke carefully, friends spoke softly. They told her she needed protection. You should name someone, they said. A power of attorney, someone to manage your assets, pay your bills, make sure you are safe. Mercy listened. She thought of her children. She weighed her trust. In the end, she chose her son. Nonso was stable, responsible, working, strong where she was now weak. She signed the papers with slow hands. She placed her life's work into his care. He would manage her assets, pay her bills, handle her financial duties. As the pen left the paper, Mercy felt relief. She believed she was safe. She did not know that trust, once given, cannot be taken back easily. And she did not know that this choice would become one of life's deepest turns. Mercy was very ill now. She stayed in bed most days, her body weak, her voice low. The woman who once helped everyone had no visitors. No siblings came, no phone calls, no concern. The silence was heavy. As for Choima, they were not in a good place. There were hard words between them, distance, coldness, so Mercy did not expect to see her. Nonso, however, was there. He came often. He spoke kindly. He made sure she was not alone. He hired a helper, someone to make sure she ate, that she bathed, that she took her medication. From the outside, it looked like care, but care came with a shadow. Quietly, Nonso began removing large sums of money from her account, not small amounts, large ones. A new car appeared, expensive items followed, then the biggest gift of all, a house, for him and his new wife. Mercy noticed. She did the math in her mind, slowly, painfully. Nonso had a good job, but not that good. She knew, without doubt, it was her money. The truth sat in her chest like a stone. She wanted to speak, to ask, to confront him, but her body would not allow it. Each day she grew weaker. Her thoughts slowed. Her strength slipped away. Fear replaced trust. Soon after, her condition worsened. She was taken to the hospital. White walls, beeping machines, cold sheets. As she lay there, Mercy stared at the ceiling once more, just as she had years before. But this time, the fear was not of what might come. It was of what had already begun. Kathleen had heard that her sister was in the hospital. After years of silence and absence, she came home. It was supposed to be a short holiday and a visit. When she arrived at the hospital, she asked for Mercy. The answer stopped her breath. Mercy had passed weeks ago. They told her they were still waiting, waiting for a family member, waiting for someone to come and claim her. Kathleen screamed. A cry cut through the walls. Pain, shock, guilt. She reached for her phone with shaking hands. She made calls. She sent messages. Within an hour, the hospital was full. Relatives, friends, voices, tears. The staff stood in disbelief. Some stood with their mouths open. Some whispered to each other. Some shook their heads slowly. Others felt deep sorrow. One voice was heard softly among them. When she needed someone, no one was there. Now she is gone, and everyone is here. Mercy was not buried. She was cremated. Her ashes were placed in an urn and handed to her son. She had left instructions, clear wishes about what should be done with her ashes, so they gave them to him. Everyone thought the story was ending, but life had one more turn. A turn that took everyone by surprise. If you are enjoying this story so far, please take a moment to subscribe to this channel, like and share, and comment in the comment section and say, bring more stories. After everything was over, life slowly returned to what looked like normal. The sun rose, days passed, silence settled, then Choima fell ill. At first, it did not seem serious, but she grew weaker, fast. She was rushed to the hospital. Within months, her body began to fail her. She became fragile, thin, tired. When her brother went to visit her, he almost screamed. He stood frozen. He was looking at his mother. Choima's face had changed. Her body had changed. She no longer looked like herself. She looked exactly like Mercy did when she was ill. The same weakness, the same suffering, the same quiet pain. Within less than a year, within 10 months, Choima passed away. She died shortly after her mother. The story was inspired by real life events. The moral of this story is simple and heavy. Honor your mother and your father, so that your days may be long upon the earth. If you doubt those words, let this story be a lesson. Was Choima's fate tied to how she treated her mother? We do not know. Only God knows. But what we do know is this: the words of the Bible are true. We should always treat our parents with love, with respect, with kindness before it is too late.